quote, "Sometimes we can't let go of memories because they are constant reminders of a great story that we never expected to end." Respected audience, we are really privileged to have among us a dynamic leader who is associated with IBMRD since its inception in the year 1986. He is our today's chief guest, Honorable Dr. S.P. Nimse Sir, Vice Chancellor, Lucknow University, and the former Director of IBMRD Institute, 1986 batch. Sir has a remarkable experience of over 30 years in the field of management studies. Sir has held several key positions such as Chairman, Board of Studies in Mathematics, University of Pune. Also, Principal, New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Ahmednagar.
Owing to versatile experience, Sir was appointed as Dean, Faculty of Science, University of Pune. Thereby today, Sir is heading a responsible position as the Vice Chancellor, Lucknow University.
Recently, Sir has taken over as President, Indian Science Congress. Along with this, Sir is associated with several professional bodies as a member and secretary. At the academic front, Sir has specialized his PhD in mathematics, general topology along with MPhil. Sir was awarded with UP Governance Award for Distinguished Achievement in MPhil.
At the research front, Sir is a renowned PhD guide and is guiding several PhD candidates. Sir has contributed several research papers at national, international conferences as well as various journals of repute. Moreover, Sir has 12 books publication to his credit.
It is indeed an honor to invite on stage a man with distinct identity and several achievements in his career. Itself has become a role model for others to follow. So, I now take an opportunity to invite on dais Honorable Dr. S.P. Nimse Sir, Vice Chancellor, Lucknow University, to share his words of wisdom.
Sri Vasundhara Corporate Trustee, Wikipedia Foundation, Vilayat, Sri Gaikwad, one of the invited guests, S.P. Singh, Director of this Management Institute, IBMRD, Professor Ingle, other on the dais, invited guests, dear students of MBA and MCM program, and my past student, first batch students, Mr. Bhaskar Reddy from Hyderabad, Mr. Venkata Sharulu from Hyderabad, Rajendra Pispati from Nagpur, Ullas Babu from Mumbai, Vijay Rane from Nasik, then second batch student Johar, then there is another few students are there. At the outset, it's a altogether different kind of experience for me, because right from the naming this university, this institute, IBMRD, there was no name to this. So while going to a railway station, I just told the person, the institute name is IBMRD, Institute of Business Management and Rural Development. And at that time we dreamed that we will do something in rural development also. Applicants from Ahmednagar College and Wikipedia Foundation for MBA program. University of Pune, at that time only 4 programs, 3 in Pune, 1 at Nasik, and they want to do 2 centers, 1 at Jalgaon, 1 at Ahmednagar. And the team member, Mr. Gupte, he became after Vice Chancellor of Pune University. He supposed to visit Jalgaon, from Jalgaon to Ahmednagar, instead 2 places, Ahmednagar College and Wikipedia Foundation. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was called by Foundation that Gupte is known to you. So you just go to railway station, receive him. He is coming for inspection of sanctioning MBA center at Ahmednagar. I collected from the railway station, put him in Ashoka Hotel. Then I just discussed it is called as its name will be IBMRD and all these things. And although Ahmedabad was the old Institute of Management Education, committee sanctioned the MBA Center to the UK Patil Foundation. My teachers, both Halve and both they agree with me, but I challenged them by requesting them to come to teach to our first batch students. Anyway, some MBA at Ahmedabad, so our first batch students, economics was taught by S.K. Halve and principal practice of management by S.B. Polte. It was just a beginning. So when MBA Center was started, I thought that my job is over. Okay? Permission. Accidentally, I became a director of this institute. My role was supposed to welcome this committee, get the center sanction from the University of Pune, and search good director for this. But for first 5 years, I was forced to lead the institute, and I was very lucky enough that first year's selection was really a national selection. All these 5 successful students and other 55 students, we have 60 seats at that time, and we were able to get all the 60 best students. Many of them missed the MBA admission at that time, renowned center, only because of some reasons, accidental reasons. They cannot go in time, otherwise they could have been selected anywhere. But we got best 60 students in the first batch, and the 5 of them are present here. And I hope that, and I am certain that all of them must be leading very satisfactory and successful professional life, because they were really good. Okay, many were engineers, and that was a great batch. And we started with without any facilities. Okay, the director's room was shared by the principal of engineering college, principal of polytechnic, and even sometimes Madhurav Mule and myself. 4 was sitting in the same shed. It was a temporary kind of shed, Maratha boarding, and nothing was there. Our classroom was also 2 blocks of tin sheets only. Nothing was special there. No furniture, okay, no finances. It was started with the goodwill of the students, and my connection with the University of Pune. We were able to attract good faculty members and best teachers in Ahmednagar city to teach our students, and it went very well. And we see that the institute became such a renowned institute. IBMRD nowadays is one of the best management school in Maharashtra at least. And at least this building, I remember, in 87-88, along with Balasaheb Vikhe Patil, we spent 2 days with architect Sikka in Delhi to finalize the drawings of this building. So I was also involved in finalizing the details of this building in 88 or 87, something like that. In the first year itself, we were very adventurous. We had done so many things. We have the placement brochure. Few of my students, usually I used to tell them, because I had to see the science faculty of New Art Science College, we had to teach for MSc classes. There was no teacher. I had to take 3 lectures for MSc classes there, and evening MBA center. I used to tell them, motivate them, he said, this is a management institute, it should be partially managed by students themselves. And that worked actually, that trick worked. Okay? And most of the decisions, we just when somebody come forward and told that we have to have one seminar, at that time there was a fashion to have some seminar in 5-star hotel. They will say they're not fine in Pune, we should have Hotel Syrox Sheraton. They say, who is the chief guest? We'll have the chief guest, S.B. Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. But unfortunately on that day, President Venkataraman come to Bombay, so we cannot come. But we have the chief guest, I think Ram Tarneja was then at that time, okay, Times Foundation chairman, and he was the chief guest. So it was just a new institute, no resources, nothing, no permanent faculty, including director, everybody was borrowed. And still we have a Hotel Syrox Sheraton, very successful seminar, and all money was collected by the students, and there was some surplus also. We put in the institute. So this was the spirit with which we started. Okay? And after that, 4 or 5 years gone, then we have the director. Actually, after 5 years, my parent institute, Jilla Maratha Vidya Prasad, started their own management institute, and I also asked to lead that institute also. For 2-3 days, I was director of both the institutes. Then after that, I get relieved from this, and my career started. So this is the little background of this institute. So right from the choosing the name IBMRD, right from getting the sanction, collecting the faculty, everything I was involved, like my home affairs, like my family affairs, it was started like that. One of the side product of this all activity was I got well connected with the Vikhe family, especially Balasaheb Vikhe and his son Radhakrishna Vikhe Patil. And since then, for last 26-27 years, I have the good relation with them. Okay. And what I learned, I will not talk about their competence in politics. Okay. But what I learned that Vikhes are the best managers. Okay. They know how to manage the educational institute, how to manage sugar factory and these things, although they may not have the formal education of management. So the management student must learn something from everybody. Okay. And one of the Vikhe message that Vikhe family is one of the best managers. Now we just want to talk about little about management education as introduced by the coordinator, that I am not a trained management student. My training is in mathematics, that is to pure mathematics. Okay, so not even applied mathematician. So I am not just dabbling in management education accidentally. But I think that management education is really a most multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary branch of knowledge. It starts with like a banking, economics, economical social sciences, behavioral sciences, quantitative sciences like mathematics, statistics, computing, and almost all branches of knowledge, okay, engineering also. So it is a really multidisciplinary branch of knowledge. That started with many original thinkers, Peter Drucker and Taylor and all this, the whole story. So to become a successful student of management education, he must have the very fertile and versatile mind. Okay, you may be very successful in, say, in literature, you may be very successful in physics, but to be a successful management student, you must have a very dynamic and versatile personality, because this is a very, very interdisciplinary knowledge, ever-changing knowledge, and there is no certain patterns, it is ever-changing. Okay, change is the only permanent thing about management education. You have to remember, and from that point of view, you must see that you must remain upgraded continuously if you want to become a successful manager in your life. That is the. So I will just recall one example about the principal management education. You must have heard the name of Professor C.K. Prahlad. Many of you must have heard. He was supposed to be a #1 management guru as per Time magazine. He was Indian but teaching at Michigan University. I think he died in year 2010 or 11 in San Diego. He was one of the, he put new theory of management. Okay, he wrote many books on management. It so happened that I will just spend 5 minutes to talk at least in management. Because I had headed management institute for 8 to 10 years together, so I must know about what is happening in management field also. So he accidentally came to year 2008 to University of Pune for some function. At that time I was in Dean or Executive Council member of Pune University. I had a little interaction, I heard his speech. And in 2009 his book came, famous book, New Age of Innovation. Okay, there is a new book published by C.K. Prahlad, New Age of Innovation, and this is one of the famous books. Earlier he wrote 2 books, Future of Competitions and Competing for the Future. And more than that, he wrote one good book, that is Fortunes at the Bottom of Pyramid. That's a well-read book, well-discussed book. And Yunus Muhammad from Bangladesh, who established Grameen Bank and revolutionized the whole economy of Bangladesh, he mentioned that he get inspired by reading the research work of C.K. Prahlad, especially Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. How to remove the property by making profit. That was a very bold theory. Okay, you can make the profit, at the same time you can serve the cause of poor people. And that was practiced by Yunus Muhammad in Bangladesh through Grameen Bank, and this now we have SHO and all these things. So C.K. Prahlad is one of the modern thinker of management, and I want to quote this because he put his management theory in a mathematical form. And being a mathematician by training, so I like this, he put his theory in a simple way, that is called in a formula n equal to 1 and r equal to g. Okay, that is his theory. All 3 books are centered around this principle. Okay, what he says that nowadays, okay, we cannot have this approach of this Ford and all these people. That it was a uniform approach. All customers are supposed to be common and mass production and everything in house. Okay, there was a some phrase at that time very common about Ford product. It was so good, nobody bothered about its appearance. So it was saying like this: any color is a good color as long as it is black. Okay, so that was the impression about the Ford. Okay, but he said that Prahlad first time questioned this philosophy and said that what was true in 1991 at the onset of 20th century is not true in the 21st century. We must have the different approach. Every customer is a unique customer. And he says in short, the value is created by the joint efforts of the firm and the customer. So he wants to say that if you want to create value in business, you want to sustain the business organization of firm, okay, you must have the access to global resources, okay, to provide the facility to co-create the unique experiences with one customer at a time. Meaning thereby, you consider a single person, that is n equal to 1 he, and provide the global resources. And this is the mantra of 21st century. Because of information and communication technology, okay, no, Google is doing the same thing, Apple is doing the same thing. They just have the good connectivity, best in the world, musician, everything is connected, and it's developed by the Apple. Old theory of doing everything in house is outdated theory for him, okay, and developing the product, okay. He says that you don't sell the products nowadays, you sell the services, and product is the part of services. Okay, that approach has to be different philosophy. You have to concentrate on individuals and provide them global resources. So that's why we call it N equal to N, R equal to G. He gives the examples in New Age of Innovation. All management students, I purposefully digressed, read such books that build up you as a manager philosophically. Okay, so concentrate on individual and provide him global resources. That is his new theory. This is not a lecture on management, so I will just cut short the theory. But I think that two new fields in India where there is a lot of scope in future are management in agriculture and management in education. This is one of the biggest country in the world with 120 crore plus population. So agriculture will be going to be a main business of this country, because we cannot depend on other world as far as food is concerned. But this will, by population will number one, so you have to be self-sufficient population in food, so you have to manage our food. And there also this theory, okay, every individual farmer can't have everything. You have to provide them resources, global resources, that is R equal to G, resources global and individual farmer or individual household. If that theory is applied, then only somebody will manage the agricultural sector profitably. Okay. Another field of where this C.K. Prahlad theory can be applied is education. And since I am in education, I will just talk 2-3 minutes about it. Okay. As far as education is concerned, you might not be knowing, because I have the fortune to work on Planning Commission also as a steering committee member for 12th plan. We developed the 12th fund from which is implemented from 1912 to 1917, 212 to 217, and what. So all statistics with me. I will not tell on details, but in short, I will tell you that we had expanded a lot in higher education. Okay, in 1947, on the year of independence, we just have 1 lakh students in higher education. Today we have more than 2 crores, 200 times increment. We just have about Pakistan together, India, Pakistan together have only 20 universities. Now we have more than 676 universities. Okay, 5 to 6 lakh teachers. So it's coming out to be one of the biggest higher education system in the world. It is expected that by the end of the 12th plan, India will rank number 1, then China 2, and America 3 as far as size of the higher education is concerned. So we have the enough horizontal expansion. And when higher education is supposed to reach to the nooks and corners of the country, when higher education is supposed to reach to the underprivileged, we need an expansion. Okay, it was historical need, and it is unavoidable that when we need an expansion of such size, there is bound to collapse the quality and relevance. But now it's a time, if we want to really become a world power on the strength of our youngster, we always say that in the age group of 16 to 60, we have more than 75 crores people, and that is our main power. Okay, if you really want to be a world power, being a young India, using our democratic profile on the strength of this expansion of higher education, now it must be vertical, horizontally enough. That was needed, and it is unavoidable that quality will go down. But now it's a time, if India really want to survive in the domain of higher education, you have to do a vertical development. And for this, all private efforts, public efforts, each like small institute like this institute, big like my institute in Lucknow there are in Lucknow University 2 management institutes, old campus 120 admission, new campus 540 intake. Okay, this is a government institute. So there are so many institutes, all of them has to care for quality and relevant education. I can just, not to discourage you, we have done very well as far as expansion of higher education is concerned, as far as outreach of higher education is concerned, but as far as quality is concerned, we always, our right president, especially Pranav Da, now he is very fond of quoting every time that no Indian university is ranking in first 200 university. By now everybody knows this in the country. Okay, even we don't get any Nobel Prize after independence. Whatever Nobel Prizes we got for work in India are pre-independent, when our higher education system was very small, limited to few people. Now I just mentioned from 1 lakh to 2 crores students are there in higher education system, but we are nowhere in world ranking. And to do that, we have everything, but our approach has to be changed. You being the future managers, that's why I'm telling in detail. I travel all the way from Lucknow to this place to send the message, through message that you must change your mind. Altering Indian mindset is the must. Okay, we have everything, but at the same time, we are nowhere in the, as far as quality and relevance of higher education is concerned, in terms of Nobel Prizes or in terms of ranking in the world universities. I have the fortune to go in last August, I think August 2012, as a member of a team who visited Harvard University, Boston, and we had this Harvard Business School. At that time, Harvard University was the number one university, and there was thought come to in Maharashtra government. Why not some people go from Maharashtra to Harvard and learn how to build the world-class university. So I was there 5 days, worked 14 hours a day, seen Harvard Business School, which is number one in world. HBR is there. Harvard Medical School, they got 4 Nobel Prizes in medicine for last 10 years. Okay, you see, if you make a little introspection, we can do all these things in. At that time I was at Nanded, at Pune, at Bombay, at Delhi. But we are missing the focus. We have to go by the Prahlad theory that N equal to 1 and R equal to G. Meaning by each institute must concentrate on individuals. Every individual, every student in this hall has a different potential to grow. The institute runners, directors, faculty must understand each individual and see that he gets the global resources. That is R equal to G. N equal to 1 and R equal to G means Prahlad theory. Individual has to be identified and global resources has to be provided. Then value is co-created by the student and the institute, and it becomes a world-class institute. It's so simple, but we have to work on that line. Working on that line is difficult. It's not costly. We have everything. We have the best students, we have the best teacher, we have the best infrastructure, but we have to change our mindset. We have to change our education philosophy, and this is one area where we can do it, because only through higher education, India can become a superpower. Because this is the age of knowledge society, knowledge economy. Unless we have the world-class education, few taking world-class education from the Europe and America and coming back to India will never solve the problem. Unless our Indian higher education system become world-class, we will never compete China, we will never become a world superpower. Okay? Of course, we want to become world superpower to have the quality life to everybody, not to rule others. Okay? With this kind of little thing from management, I just end up my speech with telling my personal experience at the end. My experience is that I started I spent up to 2008 my whole career in Ahmednagar city. Where 5 years, first 5 years of director of this institute, then our college institute, teaching mathematics for so many, about 34 years in New York Commerce Science College, principal, then dean, all offices of Pune University. It is so happened that in 2007, I think, I narrowly missed the Vice Chancellorship of Pune University. Then somehow government invited me and indirectly told me go to Nanded, which was the upcoming university. From July 2008 to June 2013, for 5 years, I completed my term successfully at Nanded. We made a very great change at Nanded University, which was from the relatively backward area of Marathwada. After that, I suddenly got a call from Lucknow University and invited as a Vice Chancellor for that old university. In Lucknow City, there are 11 universities, and Lucknow University, Lucknow, where now I am a Vice Chancellor from last May 2013. Okay, is one of the oldest university of Northern India, older than Delhi University, established in 1864 as a Canning College, converted into university in 1921. There are many great names associated with the Lucknow University. One of them is Ranglap Paranjape, okay, R.P. Paranjape, who was also Vice Chancellor of Pune University, and he was Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University in 1932 to 1938, long back. Another great name is Acharya Narendra Dev, who flagged this on 15th August 47 in Ahmednagar किल्ल्यातलं झेंडावंदन आचार्य नरेंद्र देवने इंडियन निवृत्तीच्या सांगण्यावरून केलं होतं, because he was a great patriot, friend of Achyutrao Patwardhan, and sometimes PSP party अध्यक्ष जे विरोधी पक्ष होता पार्लिमेंट मधलं. So many great names are associated with my university, Lucknow University, like Shankar Dayal Sharma. He was our student. He taught law 2 years in my university. Okay, there are so Ramkrishna Hegde, there are so many names. Okay, presently half of the cabinet of Lucknow University is our past students. Okay, so I got a chance to work as a Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University. Now 1 year back, I get elected as a General President of Indian Science Congress. Very few people must be knowing. In 47, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the General President. Last year, being the 100th year, Manmohan Singh was General President. In 100th year, I get elected for the 102nd year General President. Yesterday only I had the meeting at Bombay, that's why I was able to connect this function with that meeting. That we are conducting 102nd session of Indian Science Congress at Bombay University in 3rd to 7th January, where we are anticipating 12,000 delegates. It's customary for a Prime Minister of India, whosoever may be at that time, to inaugurate the Science Congress. It's a unique experience in the world. No conference of this size is organized anywhere in the world with 12,000 scientists. So I will just read it. Because this describes my philosophy of life, my approach towards career. It says that it's like this. हम वो राही है लिए फिरते सर पर सूरज. और एक बात करो, हम वो राही है लिए फिरते हैं सर पर सूरज. हम किसी पेड़ से साथ नहीं मांगा करते, हम किसी पेड़ के साया नहीं मांगा करते. Meaning thereby, don't depend on others. You can't become a great person because of somebody's help. So I am not able to say, these Lucknow people, they speak in a very different way. वो इतना इन्फ्लुएंशियल बोलते हैं कि हम और आई है लिए फिरते हैं सर पर सूरज, हम किसी पेड़ से साया नहीं मांगा करते. For students also, there is one thing I want message. I will just read it. आप सबों की, इंक्लूडिंग माय फर्स्ट बैच स्टूडेंट्स, जिंदगी की असली उड़ान अभी बाकी है. जिंदगी के कई इम्तिहान अभी बाकी है. अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमीन तुमने. अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमीन तुमने. अभी तो सारा आसमान बाकी है. This is a challenge for all you, and this is also for all of you, because once you become a great, as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of room vacant at the top. There is no competition at the top. All competition at the lower level. Okay, so you occupy the top, then don't forget your alma mater. Okay, I came here because I am emotionally connected with this institute. Okay, he just Princess Arjuni called me and I just immediately asked. And then I made a meeting at Bombay University yesterday, 11th hour meeting to organize Science Congress so that I can connect both things. Okay, I came here because I am emotionally connected with you. Unless you are emotionally connected, you cannot develop. And don't forget your alma mater when becoming successful. You earn enough wealth, nothing wrong in becoming rich. Earn enough fame and knowledge, but when you have sufficient money, then spare some money for your alma mater when you took your education. Okay, and all of you must learn that somewhere in your career you must refund. Okay, you must donate something for the institute which make you great. Okay, with this kind of fund. Well, I have the one experience also at Lucknow when I joined. I have two meetings, one at Delhi and one at Lucknow of our alumni. This is Alumni Association of 2014. Many students, okay, many central minister, okay, most of the IAS officers, secretaries, they are our past students, Lucknow being the, as I told you, it's older than Delhi University. So I have so thank you all of you for hearing me patiently. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Uttar Pradesh.